You know, you get your hopes up, you believe, you cross all your fingers, but sometimes the dreams you want to become a reality actually burn alive in a pool of failure. I think we can all agree, if you have seen this week's SmackDown Live, that is what happened, because yes, Oscar wasn't on the show again. It does suck, but there's still plenty of other things we need to talk about, including all the hoo-ha craziness with your man, Kofi Kingston. So let's do it. Strap yourself in, put your seatbelt on, because it's important for safety. And join me, Simon Miller, here on WhatCulture Wrestling as we up those smackadowns. Also remember, just quickly, April the 8th, 2:30, Stand Up NY, whatculture.com/tickets. Come see me, come see the WhatCulture crew live before the post-WrestleMania Raw. We'll be doing loads of cool stuff, and I want to see your damn face. Play to The Miz. He kicked off SmackDown to finally cement himself as a babyface, and given that a lot of his old good guy runs came into major criticism, I don't think we're going to be hearing any naysayers this time round. He smashed it. Give it up. He addressed the Shane McMahon nonsense and said before it all happened, he'd never been so happy because he finally made his father proud. And again, Miz, I've told you once, I'll tell you again, if that's what you had to do to get your dad to go, I love you, Miz, then he ain't a good parent. Kick him to the curb. I will be your dad. I'm already everybody's dad anyway. It all went bad as we know, and Miz revealed that he had been told by people backstage, look bro, you can't trust Shane McMahon, he's different back here, he's like a pariah, and he will definitely stab you in the back. Which he did. You should have listened to the Miz, just saying. Also called Shane rotten to his core just like his own dad, and of course he was referring to Vince McMahon, and said just like he has done throughout his entire life, he will use his work ethic to win at WrestleMania 35. Also threw in an odd line when he said that the McMahons don't own him, and they also don't own Kofi Kingston. That was a little strange. There is no relationship between The Miz and Kofi, but I guess it's that thing. You become a good guy, and all of a sudden, all the other good guys in the locker room become your friend. It's like some kind of code. But still, all of this worked, and I'm quite excited about this match because I'm a simple creature. Give me a good story, tick all the boxes as you go through the stepping points, and I will be a happy man. This is gonna be alright. I do want to know what the kayfabe reason for video packages is though. Before the Miz had even started talking, he pointed at the Titantron, and we got this really epic and this really emotional video showing us everything that hadn't happened between the Miz and Shane McMahon. And my big question is, who made the video? Was the Miz in the back talking to some kind of editor, going, oh yeah, here, when Shane attacks me, put in the sad piano, I really want people to feel? Or was the Miz just told, Miz, we know you're hurting right now, but we're still going to show you a very upsetting video before you do indeed start to talk? I want to know. It was then Sasha Banks and Bayley taking on the Iconics in a non-title match. And look, it was fine, it was okay, but yes, we got to call a spade a spade. It was also pretty messy. That's why I got to take my finger, point it that way, and say the word down. It also felt like my brain got attacked by madness. Lacey Evans was back and she was doing her walk to the bottom of the aisle, turn around and walk back up to the top of the aisle, although now it's apparently a distraction technique because it did indeed distract Bayley, and that allowed the Iconics to get back on the offensive. And during the finish, Peyton Royce kind of rolled up Sasha Banks and Billie Kay helped, but it also looked a little bit like they all just fell on each other. I think this also means that it may actually be a 4-way at WrestleMania, maybe even a 5-way, because look how it's planning out. You've got the Raw team, that is Sasha Banks and Bayley. You've got the SmackDown team, that's now the Iconics. You've got the Legendary team, that's Beth Phoenix and Natalya. For some reason, you've got the other Raw team of Nia Jax and Tamina, but if you want an NXT team in there, that's 5. There's not going to be enough room around the ring, and personally, I'd prefer we just saw one tag team take on another tag team, but I get it. WWE's quite cool. When it does come to WrestleMania, they want to get everybody on the show. I just worry how this will go down. A bizarre bit followed with Rey Mysterio. He was backstage with his son Dominic, and if you're around the same age as me, you're now terrified of death, because that boy, he all grown up, and you just have to ask the same thing over and over again. Where has the time gone? I remember when Eddie Guerrero was saying, hey, I'm your puppy, and now he's a damn adult. Anyway, Rey was here to announce that at WrestleMania 35, he is officially in the US title match against Samoa Joe. And that was a bit meh. It was like, all right, just because you rolled him up a week ago, now all of a sudden we're having a bout in a couple of weeks' time. I think we could have had a bit more fun with that, but again, it weren't bad, it was fine. I'm going to enjoy that match, Samoa Joe versus Rey Mysterio, on that kind of stage. That's 2 thumbs up, and when you get 2 thumbs up and push them together, you do get 1 up. A brown down now though, and that's right, it's a brown down out of nowhere, but I don't care. But what the hell are we doing with Kevin Owens? He's already back to hosting the Kevin Owens show, even though he's only been back for around about 3 weeks. And 1, we do way too many chat shows as it is. It's becoming a redundant idea. And 2, any kind of return momentum that KO had has now been shot in the head and it's floating down a river somewhere. Why did we do this? Why couldn't we have left Owens' comeback till after the show of shows? Ridiculous. What happened with him in context of SmackDown though was fine, so that can get an up. His guests were Charlotte and Becky Lynch, and he made out the point that, oh, friends always do fall out, and he was making a reference to him and Chris Jericho. Said, look ladies, nobody wants to see you talk anymore, so I'm gonna get out of the ring, and you two should probably just have a fight. And they did. The refs broke it up, and while it was a very good WWE style brawl, I couldn't help but think that maybe we did a little bit too much in the weeks before this. So now that we are 3 weeks away from WrestleMania, there ain't much left to do, so we may as well just have them fight a little bit. It was alright. If you were hoping for the Charlotte, Becky and Ronda thing to be pushed forward, you probably would have been disappointed though. It didn't really move forward at all. In fact, it stood still. Like I'm doing now. Never think about that, do you? I'm rooted to one spot when I record these, and it's just my limbs that flail around. AJ Styles promo now, and it was fine. He ran down Randy Orton and said good luck to his friend Kofi Kingston, and that was it. Again, a little bit disappointing. I kind of wanted more insider baseball, given how good their promo was last week, but I guess there just wasn't time on this show, given that we have a massive gauntlet match we've got to do. But it's AJ Styles, I like him, give him it up. I tell you what I did love though, the Daniel Bryan promo. Not only did he call Kofi Kingston a B+ player, for real, it wasn't just murmurings backstage, but he also made a damn good point. Everybody's saying that Kofi Kingston has been held down, but what happened when Mustafa Ali got injured before the Elimination Chamber? The opportunity was given straight to Kofi. You make a damn good point, Daniel Bryan, and when people make good points, they get it up. Kofi was then out there without the New Day because they had been banned from ringside, and fair play to WWE. I was really into this before it even began, and I'd already decided, because of their build, that this should be taken as a big deal. Kingston was fighting Sheamus first, and he did away with him like he was a piece of Swiss cheese. No, that is a line for later. I've got the wrong... I'm going to say that again in a second. It was a decent match too, with plenty of cool reversals, and of course Cesaro, who kept interfering. It didn't matter though, because after Sheamus had gone for a bro kick and missed, Kofi hit the Trouble in Paradise, and we were 1 down. Cesaro was the second opponent, and yes, Kofi did away with him like he was Swiss cheese, you know, because he's from Switzerland. I don't know, come on man, sometimes words just come out of my mouth. It was the same kind of deal here. Cesaro went for the neutralizer, Kofi wiggled out, he hit him with the SOS, and now we were 2 down. We did keep cutting to the back throughout all of this, and the New Day were there, they were all pumped, and eventually they were joined by the Hardys, the Usos, and loads of the SmackDown locker room. And of course, they were also eating pancakes. The recyclable one was next, and this was the first time I questioned what exactly WWE was going to do, because Rowan was never going to lose clean. I was correct, because that was the get out. Rowan just didn't lose clean. Instead, the big man hit Kingston with a steel chair and iron clawed him through a table, and I can only guess that he did that because he saw some wood and thought, oh, I can use this wood to go and build some kind of sustainable hut. It was made doubly clear during this that the New Day couldn't come out and help their friend, because if they did, it would be an instant disqualification for Kofi, and they don't want that. So it was like, oh, what's gonna happen? Who's next? Oh no, it's Samoa Joe. Can Kofi Kingston possibly get rid of Samoa Joe? Well, yes, he could. Also, before we do leave Recyclable Rowan, he came out to his Bludgeon Brothers theme this time, and not that weird Deliverance guitar thing that he has been doing the last few weeks. Keep doing that, WWE. That was good. So it was Kingston versus Joe, and no surprises for figuring out that this absolutely rocked. Samoa Joe can do no wrong, but you did kind of see a pattern emerging here, but I guess what else can you do in a gauntlet match? Because this time, Samoa Joe's chosen finish was the Muscle Buster, and instantly people were like, he's not going to muscle bust Kofi Kingston. We don't do that in WWE, and once more, you were correct, because it was just a way for Kofi Kingston to roll up Samoa Joe, and now he's on to his last opponent. And yes, if you are keeping count, it keeps going, finish our Kofi, finish our Kofi, but I ain't gonna lie, it worked, it was brilliant. And of course it was a necessary sacrifice, but I'd be lying if I said I wasn't a bit annoyed that Samoa Joe, who is only a few weeks away from defending his United States Championship at WrestleMania, and of course he is a champion, just lost here like some kind of schmuck. As we do know though, Samoa doesn't like losing in any sense, so he went over to Kofi afterwards, who was now exhausted, and he choked him out for a while. At this point, we also saw Big E and Xavier, plus loads of other wrestlers, chanting for Kofi, and that was the stupidest part of the evening. They can't hear you, you idiots. He's miles away out of the ring. Orton was our last boss character, and you would have been a fool for thinking, well, what are they going to do this time? Because as I've already explained, they just did what they've already ever done 4 other times. At one point, Orton went for the RKO. Kingston was too smart, and because clearly Randy hadn't been watching other matches, he got rolled up for the 1, for the 2, for the 3. There were plenty of other RKO teases throughout this, including at one point Orton getting right in the camera and shouting out, "Stupid." And I like the fact we keep making those references. You either get it or you don't, but that's fine. Screw any foibles though, because the emotion was here and we all bought in, and that's what wrestling should be. And just as Kofi Kingston, Big E and Xavier Woods were celebrating, all you had to do was look at your watch and go, there's still 7 minutes left to go on this episode of SmackDown. I think something bad is about to happen, and bad it did. Vince McMahon's music hit. He congratulated Kofi on his achievement, but said, oh, I forgot to tell you, you gotta face one more person, and only then can you go to WrestleMania. But unfortunately for you, it's the world champion Daniel Bryan. They had a short match, it was pretty good, but it was for nothing, because Bryan eventually hit his running knee, Kingston got pinned, and all your dreams just died. Although, of course, they haven't. We're absolutely going to get Kingston versus Bryan in some guys in a few weeks. The only question is how we get there now. There's more twists and turns in the canon. And if you are wondering too, which you should be, because this is ups and downs, everything I've just said doesn't just get an up, it gets a golden up. I thought it was well put together, I was invested, I believed, and when Kingston had it all taken away from him at the last minute, I screamed at my TV, because maybe I was having some kind of heart problem. Luckily I wasn't, and by the time that little thing popped up in the corner to say bye, we're going off TV, I wanted to tune in again next week. And when WWE does that, you gotta give them a little bow, and as I've already done, give them a golden up. Now, don't forget to leave a comment below and let us know what you think about last night's SmackDown. I mean, was it too much with Kofi Kingston? Have we gone overkill here? Like, share, and subscribe. Head over to WhatCulture.com, read yourself some articles, follow WhatCulture, Twitter, WhatCulture WWE, and watch more wrestlers here on WhatCulture Wrestling. Said that way too fast. Calm down, Simon. Everything's gonna be alright. My name is Simon from WhatCulture. Thank you very much for watching. And again, just to ram it down your throats like Roman Reigns circa 2015. WhatCulture.com/tickets. Come hang out with me and the WhatCulture gang at Stand Up NY in New York, 2:30 on Monday, April the 8th, before WrestleMania Raw. Then what else you can do? You can go to the Bullet Club Block Party too. We're going to be there, and we're going to be kicking the Bullet Club's ass. Otherwise, have a great day. Put a smile on your face. Think happy thoughts. They'll make you feel better. And I'll see you soon.